fans and them tell me the fine make a going fine. I just simply have to tell them use the driving force behind. Use the one that gives me courage. Use the one that have me great. So for that tonight, my darling, we going out and celebrate. Tonight the black man feeling the party. Tonight the black man feeling the jam, 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 jam. Tonight the black man just is the boogie woogie. Come on, hold on to your man, and let me do, and let me do, and let me do, and let me do.
Time check, it's 6 o'clock. Going to just take a small pause on this as we get set for the evening news coming up right now on DBS Radio.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, a new minimum wage structure for Dominica to come into effect October 1st, 2025. In the news from the region, Trinidad and Tobago's defense minister advises gun owners to deal harshly with intruders. Internationally, U.S. envoy to visit Gaza after productive meeting with Israel's prime minister. The details of these stories and more coming up next.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
And welcome back. A special good evening to our listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio. A new minimum wage structure for Dominica will come into effect from October 1st, 2025. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says government is committed towards reviewing the minimum wage structure every 3 years.
You cannot go and increase the minimum wage without consultation, Mr. Speaker. And we believe, because when you're talking about minimum wage, Mr. Speaker, the last time the minimum wage was increased was in 1989 by the Freedom Party. And in 2008, we increased the minimum wage. And in 2021, we went further and increased it even more, Mr. Speaker. And when the Minister for Labour, Honorable Blackmore, was presenting in the Parliament, we made a commitment to the country that every 3 years we shall review the minimum wage in Dominica. That is why there was supposed to be a review in 2023. But because of COVID, we got distracted, Mr. Speaker. And so by October of this year, we expect there to be new minimum wage rates in Dominica. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, the categories were increased by us. There were a number of workers in the 2008 change which were not captured, and that was brought to us by cashiers when we went to the cashing booth, cashing table. And the minister came back to the cabinet and said, Prime Minister Cabinet, we have to change this, we have to increase those categories. We increase those categories, Mr. Speaker. Blackmore has been a champion of minimum wage in Dominica. And he came back and we changed it, and we included a number of categories, cashiers and attendants and hotel workers. And come 2025, October 1, there will be a new minimum wage structure in Dominica.
Mr. Skerrit says the youth of Dominica must take advantage of the opportunities being provided in the agriculture sector, which were announced in the 2025-2026 national budget.
One of the things I want you to highlight, Mr. Speaker, is the 300 acres of land, government land, that have been offered to young farmers, those who are existing and those who want to get into agriculture. So the government, Mr. Speaker, is offering young farmers at an exceptional rate of $1 per acre per year for the first 5 years. And those of us who are farmers know that most things bear fruit within 5 years. And with the technology that they apply, the practices of propagation, coconuts, 18 months, good water, good care, cocoa, 15 months, for good solid crop, 3 years, limes in 12 months, 18 months, trees of food, bananas, 8, 9 months, if it gets enough water, ginger, 12 months, turmeric, 12 months. So you're gonna make money over that 5 years there. Before the government tell you it's $5 per year, you're making money on this thing. And the land is one of the most important components of investing in agriculture. And if you were to buy agricultural land in Wesley, for example, because of the topography, because of access to roads and services, the land in Wesley is almost residential lots because of access to them. You're talking about, Mr. Speaker, no less than 50,000 as 1 acre of land in Wesley. So if you go and you lease 3 acres of land, it means, Mr. Speaker, you won't have to find $150,000 plus transfer fees to invest in agriculture. This is facilitation. This is a government that understands and appreciates what it means to invest in young people, to give you not only a head start, but a jump start, Mr. Speaker. And coupled with that, you get almost free planting material, you get free technical advice, you get free technical support. Opportunities, Mr. Speaker.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Parliament has been adjourned sine die. Attorney General Levi Peter has called on the courts to hand down stiffer penalties for firearm-related offences. Mr. Peter says Dominica's Firearms Act makes provision for strong action against holders of unlicensed firearms who are brought before the court.
I have shied away from doing it in the past, but I have to say here and now, in this public forum, that the courts need to do much more. The courts need to take more robust action in dealing with people who come before them for possession of unlicensed firearms. This Parliament, in I think it was 2014, the government brought to the Parliament legislation to repeal the then existing Firearms Act and to introduce, among other things, significantly increased penalties for various firearms acts. Since that passage, that is what the courts should be adhering to, and so far as I can tell, they are not doing so, at least not doing so sufficiently. A firearm has one purpose, Mr. Speaker, and one purpose only. It's a deadly weapon. It's designed to kill. If anybody has an unlicensed firearm and they go before the court, that's the way the court should be sentencing them on that basis. We need to stop this thing of giving people fines. As you give them the fine, either the bigger boss goes and pay it, or they themselves pay it. This is nonsense, Mr. Speaker, and it needs to be stopped. We need to curb this firearms issue, and we need to take strong action to do so.
Attorney General Levi Peter. The government of Dominica may consider allowing Palestinian nationals to settle in Dominica as a means of increasing the country's population. This was announced by Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit during his contribution to the 2025-2026 national budget in Parliament this morning.
The other thing I think we need to look at, we have the Palestinians. I believe that we're open to engage the government of Qatar, the government of Saudi Arabia, and the government of UAE with a view to quite possibly allowing the resettlement of a couple hundred of Palestinians into Dominica, if we can get funding from those governments. And of course, we'll be engaging the United States government in that regard as well. If we can get the infrastructure put in, you have very talented people in this country, top-class doctors, top-class engineers, who we believe can assist us in our efforts towards growing the economy and filling the gaps where we have some skills deficiencies. And so we'll be engaging the public on these issues and to solicit the feedback from the public on these things. And not only limited to this party, we have to be, the world now is progressive and we have to be more open.
Mr. Skerrit adds that a new immigration policy for Dominica is also being looked at.
I believe that one of the things that we'll be doing very soon is to articulate a more progressive immigration policy for our country. We inherited, every law we inherited from the British is more prevention and not facilitation. And I believe that we have enough land in Dominica for an increased population. And therefore we have to be, in terms of visa regime, I believe that we should look at eliminating all visas to Dominica for all citizens across the world and to facilitate people coming in. Let's remove all visas. I don't need to have visas, people impose visas. and so on. You can have an amount of stay, a day stay, or weeks or months or whatever it is, but this people have to apply for a visa to come in there and so forth. You have to.
And that was the Prime Minister, Roosevelt Skerritt. The Dominican National Lottery announced that an amount of $2.4 million has been paid out to winners from its Blast Mystery Progressive. Haitian national and barbershop owner Jean-Fleur Brutus collected his earnings of $158,516 this afternoon as the latest winner of the Blast Mystery Progressive.
Since the introduction of Blast Mystery Progressive, we have had a total of eight jackpot winners and a total payout of over $2.4 million. That is on our jackpot winners alone. And additionally, we've paid out over $125,000 on the additional BME prizes, which is guaranteed once you enter the mystery game. Today, we are going to present the winner, Mr. Jean-Fleur Brutus, with his winnings of $158,516.80. For those of you who are wondering what game did he played the popular 7 Lucky Lines, and he won that jackpot on a bet of only $3.15. He is a loyal customer of ours here at our very own entertainment center. This is the 3rd winner right here at our entertainment center and our 8th winner overall for the jackpot Blast Mystery Progressive since it's been launched.
Branch Manager of the Dominican National Lottery, Eronia James. Health Minister Cassani Laville says the nursing service saw 79 permanent appointments within the last financial year. Laville says there was also a 100% reduction in nurse resignation and migration over the last year.
27 new nurses were recruited. 22 of them were assigned to the Dominica-China Friendship Hospital, and 7 were retained within primary health care. 10 highly skilled retirees were re-engaged contractually. 10 Cuban-trained nurses joined the fraternity, and we thank the Republic of Cuba sincerely for their collaboration over the past few years, Mr. Speaker. This has added significant value to the delivery of care and our outcomes in Dominica. Mr. Speaker, notably, while we have heard of issues of nursing attrition, this year by the strategic investments, by the focused attention that we have placed on our nurses, we have seen a 100% reduction in nurse resignations and migration during this period. To improve staff morale and commitment, several initiatives were implemented. Permanent appointments for 79 nursing personnel, a record number, Mr. Speaker. 4 public health nurses completed advanced training. 32 public health aides received contract renewals. 17 nursing aides were confirmed into permanent roles. And for the last year, on average, within the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Services, every week, we basically appointed 2 new people.
Health Minister Cassani Laville. Culture Minister Greta Roberts says renovation works at the Arawak House of Culture are almost complete. The facility has not been in use since the passage of Hurricane Maria in 2017. The Culture Minister says a new contract issued this year was successfully implemented.
The long-awaited renovation, refurbishment and restoration of the Arawak House of Culture is progressing satisfactorily. In December of 2024, Mr. Speaker, an award of contract was approved in the sum of $113,583.76 for the waterproofing of the roof, because as you may have heard, we had an issue with the roof of the Arawak House of Culture. This contract was signed in January of 2025, and the work was completed in April with financing from the Embassy of the People's Republic of China. I want to offer heartfelt thanks to the ambassador for his generosity. The ministry has commenced the process of assessing the electrical works to identify the areas that need to be reviewed and replaced if possible, just as a safety measure.
She says the ministry will embark on finishing touches on the project.
An award of contract has been given for the installation of the ceiling tiles. This, of course, has already been approved by the Ministry of Finance. The entire area has been cleared and cleaned for the installation of the wall and floor carpeting, for the seating and stage curtains. We have to change the doors and paint the external building. And of course, according to our contractors, the target date for completion is within the next 2 months. So if all goes well, I hope and pray with the blessings of the Almighty that this will be a place we will have for independence celebrations.
Minister for Culture, Greta Roberts. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Environment and Constituency Empowerment, Darren Lloyd, says a more proactive approach is being taken towards waste management. Lloyd, in his contribution to the budgetary debate in Parliament, says the public must accept their responsibility towards waste management as it cannot fall on the government alone.
We have tailored a proactive and prudent plan, Mr. Speaker, of reforming the Dominica Solid Waste Corporation in an effort to increase efficiency, Mr. Speaker. Some of the key initiatives will include the following. First and foremost, Mr. Speaker, we have already procured 6 additional garbage trucks, and this is going to contribute exponentially to our solution, Mr. Speaker. But we should not stop there, Mr. Speaker, because the truth is it is not going to solve the problem in its entirety. There are a number of considerations of this ministry and this government as to how this issue can be solved. One of the things that we have to also focus on doing is decentralizing the landfill from just stock farm, Mr. Speaker. So we must find an additional landfill, Mr. Speaker. Additionally, we must find a dump site for white goods, derelict vehicles, and tires, Mr. Speaker, because we believe that waste has to be separated, and we want to lead by example. We also want to practice what is called garbage collection decentralization. Now, this is going to entail the empowerment of local authorities, for example, the councils, Mr. Speaker, where we will displace different garbage trucks in different districts. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, there must be a call for greater public contribution and education. So in this fiscal year, you will see this ministry out educating the public as to sorting, proper disposal practices, and the list goes on, Mr. Speaker. So this is something that we want to engage ourselves in doing. Of course, we are going to call on every single individual, and this is a topic conversation that we're going to have in the near future, Mr. Speaker, to also make their own personal contribution towards garbage collection. Because the truth is, government alone cannot sustain the cost of garbage collection, Mr. Speaker. And there has to be individual financial contributions. And I believe the vast majority of Dominicans can agree to that, Mr. Speaker.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Environment and Constituency Empowerment, Darren Lloyd. Taking us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is news from the region and international.
Flow's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
DBS News.
And welcome back. Now news from the region. Trinidad and Tobago's Defense Minister, Wayne Sturge, is advising constituents and citizens that during a home invasion, they can shoot first and explain yourself after. Sturge says that provision, amongst others, will be available under the proposed Stand Your Ground legislation the United National Congress government is seeking to enact. He says another measure would allow a victim to defend themselves against an intruder before they are even physically attacked. Sturge, who was a criminal defense attorney before his successful run in the April 28th general elections, said the proposed legislation differs vastly from existing self-defense laws. The government has already said the Stand Your Ground laws will follow the Florida model, which was enacted in 2005. Internationally, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff will visit Gaza on Friday to inspect food distribution sites. Witkoff will visit the territory along with U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee and secure a plan to deliver more food and meet with local Gazans to hear firsthand about this dire situation on the ground. Witkoff, who is on a visit to Israel, was said to have had a productive meeting with Israel's Prime Minister, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu. Meanwhile, Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry said 111 people had been killed and 91 of them were killed while seeking aid in the 24 hours before Thursday midday today. More than 50 Palestinians were killed and 400 others injured while waiting for food near a crossing in the northern Gaza on Wednesday. This brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next to sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep this going. The people we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
And welcome to your DBS Evening Sports for today, July 31, 2025. First off, some cricket. A century for GN Benjamin as Dominica eased past St. Lucia to pick up their second win in the Windward Islands Super 50 Overs tournament on Thursday today. Dominica won the toss and opted to bat first. Stephen Pascal and Kavim Hodge went early before Robinson and Taj Tavernier were able to reconstruct the innings. GN Benjamin took over following their dismissals as he helped Dominica to their second score of over 300 in the tournament. Dominica made 315 all out in 49.3 overs. GN Benjamin got 120, Jelani Robinson 49, and Taj Tavernier 26. Keon Gaston picked up 4 for 55, and Charles Neil Edward 3 for 55. St. Lucia, looking for 316 to win, were bowled out for 246. Akeem August got 39, and Kimani Melius and Keon Gaston got 36 runs each. Jed Joseph picked up 2 wickets, Courtney Ansom 3 wickets, and Taj Tavernier 3 for 22. Dominica won by 69 runs. With the win, Dominica has advanced to the finals and will play St. Lucia in the first place match on Saturday. Meantime, Johan Jeremiah got a century as Grenada picked up their first win of the tournament as they beat St. Vincent. Jeremiah made 121, Darren Ned 78, and Daniel McDonald 41 not out as Grenada made 349 for 6 in their 50 overs batting first. Asif Hooper took 3 for 53 for St. Vincent. St. Vincent, chasing 350 to win, were bundled out for 131. Christine Murray picked up 3 for 27. Ryan John 3 for 28, and Daniel McDonald 2 for 8. Grenada won by 117 runs. Still in more sports this lunchtime, well, this evening time here at the West Indies will be hoping to put an end to their 5-match losing streak in T20 cricket as they meet Pakistan as they begin their 3-match T20 series in Florida starting tonight. Tonight's game gets underway at 8 p.m. Caribbean time. Dominica's Alec Athanaze is set to return to the West Indies team as Athanaze, a multi-format player, last played T20 cricket for the West Indies against South Africa in 2024. Athanaze, who up until Wednesday was in St. Lucia with the senior men's national cricket team, is a late replacement for Brandon King, who will miss the series due to injury. Athanaze is expected to arrive in Miami this evening. The Windies are also making 2 other changes to the team that faced Australia. Shama Joseph is replacing Alzari Joseph. Johnson Charles is replacing the injured Shimron Hetmyer. Meantime, West Indies coach Darren Sammy says the injuries were a bit of a setback, but is good that the back and replacement players are coming.
Yeah, we have a few injuries that will really impact the bulk of our batting. We have Hetmyer, Brendan King, both suffered side injuries. We have Rovman Powell, suffered from a wrist injury. Still, there's a possibility that he'll be present. And you know, we called on, and we also had Evan Lewis who sustained injuries. So in trying to find guys, we've We contacted Kyle Mayers first to replace Evan Lewis. Unfortunately, Kyle Mayers doesn't have a visa, so they are working on that. We also contacted Alec Atenes, who is right now in St. Lucia playing for the Windward Islands. And he's gonna fly back to Dominica. Hopefully could get him back here in time for the first game. And in that process also we had to get Johnson Charles here as early as possible in order for us to have a full squad to select from. So unforced changes, something that's beyond our control, but hopefully the guys that come in, the experience that they have, we could go out there and win this series.
West Indies head coach Darren Sammy. The full West Indies team is Shea Hope as captain, Joel Andrew, Alec Athenaze, Jediah Blades, Casey Carty, Johnson Charles, Rustin Chase, Matthew Ford, Jason Holder, Akil Hussein, Shamar Joseph, Gudakesh Moti, Shafin Rutherford and Romario Shepherd. Into some more sports here as Dominica went down to Grenada in the boys basketball this afternoon, ending their hopes of winning the boys basketball title at the 2025 Winlot Windward Islands Secondary School Games in St. Vincent. The game got down to the wire, but Dominica missed key free throws at the end, and Koma Telemak's three-point effort to tie the game as time expired didn't fall. Dominica went down 90-87 to end their campaign in the boys basketball with 1 win and 2 defeats. The inter-schools action continues with Dominica taking on St. Vincent in netball. Dominica playing St. Lucia in football at 6:30 p.m. More sports. England's fast bowlers have given them the advantage on a rain-impacted opening day of the 5th and final test against India at the Oval. England won the toss and opted to bowl first. India reached 204 for 6 at stumps on day 1. Only 64 overs were possible in the day's play. Karen Nair was not out on 52. Gus Atkinson has 2 for 31 and Josh Tong 2 for 47 for England. England are leading the 5-match series 2-1. National swimmer and Olympic athlete Jasmine Schofield came up short in her bid to advance to the next round of the 2025 World Aquatics Championships in Singapore last night. Schofield, who is the national record holder in a number of events, participated in the 100-meter freestyle event. She swam a time of 1 minute, 3.9 seconds, which was good enough for a 6th place finish out of the 10 swimmers in Heat 3. The time was just a little bit off her personal best and the national record. The heat was won by Davia Richardson of Belize in a time of 1 minute, 0.74 seconds. Schofield will turn her attention to the 50-meter freestyle heats. That event is carded for Friday. More sports. Technical advisor for the national under-14 girls football team, Kurt Hurd, feels that with more opportunities, Dominica can become a force to be reckoned with in women's football. His comments follows Dominica's participation at an under-14 festival in Anguilla on the weekend. Hurd says there is immense talent on island, but the girls need more opportunities to develop their skills.
The abundance of talent on the island, if nurtured properly and looked after properly, Dominica could have a bright future in football. As for where we move forward from here, we move now into the tournament. But longer term, we need more of these opportunities. You know, coming to a tournament where some of these girls are playing in their first competitive match, representing a national team, shouldn't happen. These girls should be playing games regularly, competitive games regularly, not just games. These girls need now competitive exposure, whether that comes from playing overseas teams, whether that comes from being challenged in a local league. However we do that, they also need contact time. Playing against Anguilla in a full-time project, they're training 4 or 5 times a week. Analysis, strength and conditioning, all these tools at their disposal, and that's something we need. We need these girls to remain in the project. We need these girls to remain with the coaches, and we need proper contact time so that we can continue to build on what we've started here.
And that was a technical advisor for the national under-14 girls football team, Kurt Hurd. Minister of State with responsibility for sports, Senator Oscar George, is praising the contributions of the Basic Needs Trust Fund to the development of the sports on island. Senator George says the Basic Needs Trust Fund has provided a source of funding for the development of a number of infrastructural projects. He says Dalis and Trafalgar are currently benefiting from the program.
Some of the projects are also targeting playing facilities, sporting playing facilities, Mr. Speaker. One such facility is the Dalis playing field, Mr. Speaker, a complete upgrade to the Dalis playing field, to include a pavilion, resurfacing the entire area, Mr. Speaker, and of course lighting, Mr. Speaker. That project is 90% complete as we speak, Mr. Speaker. Another project under that program, Mr. Speaker, is the Trafalgar, the upgrade of the Trafalgar basketball facility. As we know, Trafalgar is a community that's rich in basketball, Mr. Speaker, and they have a lot of wonderful players playing basketball in Trafalgar. And of course, we want to ensure that this facility is to a standard that can accommodate wonderful games. So we have done a media center for that facility. We have done covered stands for that facility. We have done male and female washrooms for that facility, Mr. Speaker. And of course, we're giving them a complete resurfacing of the basketball court and lighting.
He says the next project could target the Castlebruce play.
And just to say further, Mr. Speaker, under that same BNTF project, under the next cycle, cycle 11, Mr. Speaker, we have already received provisional approval for upgrades to the Castlebruce playing field, Mr. Speaker. So we're going to proceed for a total upgrade of the facility there. Again, leveling is very important in Castlebruce because the field needs proper leveling, and I think that's one of the reasons why we did not proceed with the lighting project, because we wanted to ensure that there's a proper leveled surface before any infrastructure can be placed at Castlebruce.
And that was Minister of State with responsibility for sports, Senator Oscar George, taking us to the end of this evening's news and sports. A special thanks to the DBS News and Sports team and link personnel, DJ Hillboy.
Flow's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial star 129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 31st day of July 2025. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We announced the death of Evelyn Lewis of Paybush, who resided in New York. She died on Saturday, the 12th of July in New York. She was the mother of Hesford Austri and Chanel Alcid. She will also be remembered by her grandchildren Owen and Drew Austri, her daughter-in-law Melissa Austri, sisters Glorine and Maggie Banis and Lode Alexis, her brothers Derek Lewis and Octavius Banis, her nieces to include Pamela McGlure, Laurel Lewis, Alan Alexis, Kelly Madali, Shanika, Shanikel, and Shanika Bruno. 6 nephews, Vibert Lewis, Tommy Brumant, Derricky Lewis, Teddy Madali, Navid, and David Alexis. Closest cousins, Ziska and Clayton Flora, Nicole Seaman, Maureen John, and others too numerous to mention. Her extended family in Kalibishi. Close friends, also names too numerous to mention. The body of the late Evelyn Lewis of Paybush, who resided in New York, will be viewed on Saturday, the 2nd of August from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Paybush Roman Catholic Church. The funeral mass takes place at 2 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Paybush Catholic Cemetery. We announced the death of Terry Ann Williams, age 40, of St. Joseph. She died on Sunday, the 13th of July. She was the daughter of Veronica Perrin and Nino. She was the mother of Kenny, AJ, and Torres. She will also be remembered by her common-law husband, Bevin. Her 5 brothers, 3 sisters, 2 aunts, also a number of nieces and nephews, numerous close cousins, including Joy and Dawn, and close friends Cassia and Jeremiah, her caregiver, Bevin and Kenny, or caregivers, plural, Bevin and